Hello. Hi, everyone. I think that it's slowly letting everyone in now. Sorry if anybody got confused with the times. I'm based in Queensland, so you can forgive me. I did set the time, but I think some people jumped on earlier because we've got people tuning in from New Zealand, and all over Australia, really. So there's three different time zones, and Perth probably, sorry, four different time zones going on. Even South Australia is going to have a different time zone. So if you were on earlier, apologies, that could have been my fault. I'll just wait for a little bit longer and we'll get everybody in. Now, I'll say, first of all, if you do have questions, we have opened the Q&A. So feel free to put any questions in the Q&A that you need to. And feel free to say hello at any time. So I think you can see on the screen me, and you should be able to see Sally, and Belinda also from United. So I'm the account manager for Visit Seattle, Amanda McCoy, and Sally is our new account manager for Arizona. So Sally Miles has just recently joined the Link Tourism team, and she's excellent. And Belinda is the sales manager for United Airlines. So she might pop on and say hello later, but she really is here just to, learn a lot more about our destinations that are involved in this incentive, which is fantastic, the biggest one. I'm going to share my screen now. And we'll just go back one. So you're all here because hopefully you have heard about our Ultimate Fam to the USA. Now, if you haven't already made your website and are logging bookings, then there's a QR code on the screen now for you to do that. If you haven't logged bookings, you've got until the 31st of March. So there's still plenty of time to get onto these for meals. So keep doing that now. Now I'm gonna start off with telling you all about Seattle and hand over to Sally with Visit Seattle. With Visit Arizona, with Arizona Office of Tourism even, in about the 10-minute time. I'm going to try and stick to the time because we don't have a lot of time today, and I tend to sometimes, get a little bit happy about Seattle. I've been there a number of times. I first went in the 90s as a backpacker, and I get really passionate about this city because it's super fun. There's lots of things to do. It's known as the Emerald City, and it got its name just simply because it's filled with lush greenery. It's located in the evergreen state of Washington, in the top region of the United States. And listen, it's probably only a 2.5-hour drive south of Vancouver and about a 3-hour drive north of Portland in Oregon. So it's easy to access. There's a little map that tells you where it is. The gateway is Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, and there are just, so many flights going in there every day. Do you like what I did with the United symbol there?
Amazing, Amanda. Love it.
I thought you'd like that one. And I really, really do want to mention the upgrade of the airport. The international airport has had a massive upgrade in the last couple of years, and it's really a nice airport to arrive into. But when you get into the city itself of Seattle, there are so many vibrant and like fun things to do. It's just jam-packed full of iconic sites. The first one is the Space Needle, and this was built in 1962 for the World's Fair. This has recently had a big, like $100 million refurbishment, I think it was, and you can take in all the breathtaking views of the city and out to the Olympic and Cascade Mountain ranges. But you can also step onto the Loop, which is the world's first and only glass rotating platform, and that's just below the other platform. It's super scary, but it's super fun at the same time. I love it. A Pike Place Market is one of the longest running farmers markets in the entire USA. There is tons of food and craft and artisan stalls here, and it's also famous for the salmon toss that takes place daily. The first ever Starbucks was here also. That was opened in 1971 in the market. So you can get coffee or a souvenir from the original Starbucks. Chihuly Garden and Glass, this is a one-of-a-kind art museum, and all the colourful creations and the glass artworks by Dale Chihuly are just fantastic. The Museum of Pop Culture is also a wonderful, wonderful place to visit. It's good for all the family, and it just has loads of props and things from your favorite cult movies and music memorabilia and stuff. It's got Jimi Hendrix guitar. It has a great Nirvana exhibition. And yeah, as I said, it's fun for all ages. Down on the Seattle waterfront is the Great Wheel. It's located on 57 with amazing views over to Bainbridge Island. And there is also the famous Crab Pot restaurant. There's also this ride called Wings over Washington where you kind of soar like an eagle through the state of Washington. It's pretty fantastic. It goes for about 20 minutes. My favorite ride. My other favorite thing, Seattle Aquarium. I just filmed otters for ages while I was here. On the 3 occasions that I've been there, actually, I've got lots of footage of otters, but there's seals and all the other sea life that you'd expect. Now, Seattle is really, really famous for airlines. We've got a big aviation history, and just 30 minutes north of the city is this Boeing factory tour, the future of flight. To say it's big is just an understatement. That hangar there, you can see 1 aircraft, but there's actually 8 aircraft being built in that hangar. So it is huge and super fun if you love planes. If you love planes as well, you'll love the Museum of Flight, which is just south of downtown. This is closer, but this is the largest air and space museum in the whole world. So it's great to see if you're an aviation enthusiast. We really recommend that you advise your clients to get a city pass or get a city pass when you're in Seattle because it allows you entry to all those top 5 attractions at great savings. So get that one. The city has so many diverse neighbourhoods. The oldest is Pioneer Square, which actually burnt to the ground in 1889 and then had to be rebuilt again. You can do this underground tour, which takes you beneath the streets and tells you all the history. It's hilariously funny and really, really interesting. So that's one to keep on the record as well if you're selling Seattle. But over at Alki Beach and West Seattle, Seattle's kind of like Sydney. You can hop on ferries and like Auckland, you can hop on ferries and go to all the different places, and just exploring the city by ferry is super fun. You can go up to Bainbridge, and then West Seattle there is the little red line where there's just cocktail bars and fancy restaurants and lovely things. It's just something different to get you out of the actual downtown area and explore the city. Fremont is a fun place to go as well. There's a big troll under the bridge. The hand that's holding that VW Beetle, that's an actual life-size VW Beetle. So he's fun to go see. And Fremont just has lots of breweries and coffee shops. So does Ballard. It has lots of coffee shops and breweries, and it's down on the water. There's hot tub boats down in Ballard. Capitol Hill is the centre of our LGBTQIA plus community, and there's lots of drag queen bingo and drag queen shows happening there. It's also Coffee Central for Seattle. The Starbucks Roastery is there, the big one. South Lake Union is the home of all the tech companies, Meta and Amazon and Google. And you can see all these cute, iconic houseboats as well. There are thousands of them on Lake Union, including the one that was in Sleepless in Seattle. But don't watch that movie because it's just raining in every scene, and I just don't think it's factual. It doesn't rain that much in Seattle. Trust me, I've been there heaps, and it hasn't rained on me too much. I think we're not like number 42 or 44 on the rainfall chart. We have a bad rep for rain, but it's not that bad. We can't talk about Seattle without mentioning our sports. We've every single sporting team, and we're very, very excited about the FIFA coming next year with 6 games at Lumen Field. So announcements will come out about that pretty soon, actually. And the waterfront expansion. So Seattle's had a really big refurbishment of its downtown waterfront area that spans like 17 blocks. It's just so easy now to get from Pike Place Market down to the waterfront region. If you've ever been there in the past, you'll notice a massive change if you go back. I hope you do go back in the future because it is a fabulous city. The water and the city skyline and all the things there is to do. It's amazing. Now, getting out into the surrounding area, Washington State is really, really famous for wine. It's second highest wine producing state in the US behind California. So you can visit Washington Wine Country just a couple of hours out of Seattle, or even just 30 minutes out of Seattle where that little tiny circle is. That's a lovely town that has about 115 tasting rooms. That's called Woodinville. And we have 3 national parks that are really, really close as well. So Mount Rainier, 2 hours drive, Olympic National Park, and North Cascades National Park. Now, just because it's completely surrounded by water with Elliott Bay on one side and Lake Union and Lake Washington on the other, all that water comes loads of fun water activities and loads of wildlife. So there's abundance of wildlife pretty much all year round. There's resident orcas that are in the Puget Sound just to the north, so you can catch those. And yeah, as I said before, getting around on the Washington State ferries is so easy. If you've got clients who are having a car, you literally just like drive up and drive onto these ferries, pay a short amount of money, and you're over the other side of the water. It's very, very easy to get around in. And music, last but not least, well, not completely last, but if you're a fan of Nirvana or the Foo Fighters or Pearl Jam, there's just so many cool music acts that have come out of Seattle, and I'm sure they're still coming out more and more. But this guy's Sir Mix-a-Lot on the screen, if you've heard of him before. He's from Washington. Jimi Hendrix, Kenny G, Macklemore, Ryan Lewis, Hart, Soundgarden. We've got such a massive, massive list. Music is deep culture in Seattle. Another deep culture is, this is the last thing I wanted to talk about, was cruising, because yeah, that's another big thing. Another big reason our city is so special. We have 2 big, beautiful ports, and they're both easy to access from downtown. You can practically walk to Pier 66 if you're on NCL or Oceana, and it's just a 10-minute, 15-minute taxi ride to Pier 91. We've got 50% of Alaska bound cruises sail out of Seattle's port, and in 2025 we're welcoming Cunard, and in 2026 we'll be welcoming Virgin. So watch out for that. We're only getting more and more cruise lines coming and more sailings. And that Alaska sailing is just a bit of a bucket list for everyone, isn't it? So we have agent resources on our Seattle page, which is on the Linked Tourism website. So if you want to head there, you can find some itineraries and more images and stuff and contact details. So that is it from me and Visit Seattle. I've been Amanda McCoy. Thank you for sharing your time. We will have Arizona up next, but I've just put the screen up there again one more time if you needed to scan it to log any qualifying bookings. And I hope that you guys have had some bookings and selling these destinations to try and secure your spot on the FAM, because it is going to be a great one. Sally, are you going to take over and talk to us about Arizona?
I would love to. Thank you so much for that awesome intro to Seattle. I know I am keen to check it out. And one thing that I want to remind everyone of, in addition to the fact that we've got this great FAM incentive going, is that Seattle is the first stop on one of the FAM itineraries. So If all of that looked amazing to you, make sure that you are logging those bookings. And as a reminder as well, by attending this webinar, you get an extra point into the draw to win a spot. And if you attend all 3 of them, you get additional bonus entries. So make sure you're tuning in. Alrighty, now on to Arizona. So I'd love to start by firstly introducing myself. I know a few people have entered throughout. So my name is Sally Miles. I'm the new account manager for Arizona Office of Tourism, working with Linked Tourism with Amanda and the incredible team here. And I am going to give you a whirlwind introduction to Arizona, which is stop 2 on the Seattle fam. So if you loved Seattle, you're also going to love Arizona. And let me start by, and hopefully I have set this up with sound. And if not, you don't need the sound. It's just beautiful imagery. Trust me. Oops.
Oh, do you want to go again, Sally? I don't think the sound's coming through.
Give me just a sec. Thank you. It shouldn't take much time. Aha, I see what I did there. My apologies, everyone.
Time.
Let's give that a go.
In Arizona, mountains are moving.
The land is wide awake,
Hearts are full.
and inspiration is inevitable.
Beyond our vivid hues, life itself is saturated with adventure. Breathe it in, soak it up,
Climb to the top of it and race down the other side.
walk it,
Run it,
swim it,
explore it.
awaken your spirit, and feel the beating pulse.
A vibrant Arizona.
Well, if that didn't inspire you, then hopefully I can. So Arizona is an incredible state located in the southwest of the United States. We've pulled up a map here to give you a bit of a sense of that. So as you can see, we're located right up almost against the West Coast, just next to California and Nevada. Getting there is quite easy for Australians and Kiwis. You just need to take one stop via Los Angeles, San Francisco, or Dallas. If you've got PAX who are doing maybe a Canada tour and ending in Vancouver and want to come down and explore the American Southwest, a short flight from any of those portals will be quite easy. Also, we know that people love a road trip, and Arizona is definitely a great place to do it. Driving from LA is just a half day's trip from Las Vegas as well. So definitely something to include. So why would you visit Arizona? Well, as we all love to say, there is something for everyone. In terms of food, there are a lot of award-winning restaurants, some great local chefs and personalities, artisans, vineyards and breweries. There are actually 3 American viticulture areas. I don't think I've got that AVA acronym quite right, but 3 designated wine growing regions in Arizona. Lots of alfresco dining. It's a beautiful temperate state year-round. If outdoor adventure is more your jam, lots of getaways and road trips to explore throughout the state. Any time of year, it's beautiful. Being a desert state, we don't see a whole lot of rain, but we still do get some rainfall, some beautiful spring flowers, some great ecotourism, which I'll touch on in a moment. Heritage and culture, we have a plenty. With American Indian or Native American tribes, there are a few different Native American nations located in Arizona. That like classic Old West culture, your saloons and rodeos and things. Arts and entertainment, both kind of that historical Native American art as well as modern art. Great stadiums for concerts and sporting events, museums. And I know people think, oh, museums, so what? But the museums in Arizona really are incredible, especially in Flagstaff. And I'll come back to that. Architecture for those who love it. And then wellness. I mean, even if you are into adventure and getting out and seeing all the sights, you want to take a bit of a slowdown, right? So a lot of great resorts and spas, healing landscapes I'll touch on in a little bit. And it is just a wonderful temperate place to visit. Adventure-wise, we have 3 national parks in the state of Arizona, and I will introduce each of them, but these do include, of course, the Grand Canyon and Monument Valley. We've also got 19 national monuments. So these are places that are not necessarily national parks, but national parklands, national forests, national trails. So places that are also of key significance. 35 state parks as well, and 22 sovereign American communities. One of the sort of ecotourism things that has become popular of late is astrotourism. So I know that New Zealand has done a great job of promoting their dark sky tourism, but little known fact, this actually kind of began in Arizona. So Arizona has 21 International Dark Sky Association designated dark sky communities and parks, and the very first international dark sky city was Flagstaff in 2001. So we have led the way on this. If stargazing is something you're interested in, you must visit Flagstaff, as it is the first IDA dark sky city, but also the Lowell's Observatory in Flagstaff is where Pluto was discovered. And it does have open air heated seats. So even in the winter, you can enjoy the beautiful night sky. Arizona, we break up into 5 different regions. Don't worry too much about the colors and where they are. I just wanted to give you a sense of how I'm going to break up this next section of the state and call out a few highlights in each of them. So first up is Northern Arizona, and this is where I'm going to spend the most time. The rest of them I'm only going to touch on. The reason being, this is where your fam is going, and this is where most travelers to Arizona love to explore because there's so much in this section. So Monument Valley, this beautiful backdrop I have behind me and that first photo on the slide there, you must visit with a Navajo guide as it's on Navajo Nation. So make sure you organize a guided tour for that. And Antelope Canyon, which again, that sweeping, beautiful canyon view. The Grand Canyon National Park, which is one of our other national parks. And the Petrified Forest National Park. So all these incredible petrified trees. It's very otherworldly. The cities of Williams and Flagstaff are definite must-visits. Flagstaff is right along Route 66. So for anyone looking for an iconic American road trip, you must include Flagstaff in it. Next year is the 100th centenary, the 100th year anniversary of the foundation of Route 66. So make sure you're thinking about that whenever you have clients asking you about road trips. And Winslow. So you may be thinking, have I heard that name? Well, the iconic Eagles song, Take It Easy, talks about standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. And our account director, Millie, who many of you probably know, is actually currently there on another fam. So this photo is as of this morning. She was going to join us live, but unfortunately it's now about 7:30 p.m. there and it's dark out. So she didn't think that would do much good. So she's prepared me with a photo. But she can assure me and you that it is the perfect place to take it easy. Next, moving into North Central Arizona. So here we have the incredible city of Sedona. Sedona is known really well for its outdoor adventure, lots of great hiking, mountain biking, the iconic pink Jeep tours, which are, as per their name, these bright pink Jeeps. But also it's known as a vortex area. So it's said to have this power spot that like heals and charges the body. And maybe it's because of that, maybe it's unrelated, but there's a really vibrant, thriving arts community there. Another fun thing to do in Sedona is a water to wine kayak experience. So any of you who visited the Visit USA Expo a couple of weeks ago would have seen our kayak on the booth. But this is a genuine tour that you can do in Arizona where you take a kayak down the river. And when you come to the end of the tour, a bit of a soft adventure, they'll pack up the inflatable kayaks and take you onto a winery to have lunch and a bit of a wine tasting. The town of Cottonwood is this beautiful old historic town, and it's located in the heart of the Verde Valley Wine Trail. So this is one of those American viticulture areas. Jerome was once known as the wickedest town in the West. So if you want that kind of Wild West experience, it's a cool place to visit. And Prescott as well is a town where you will find historic saloons, a lot of cool art galleries and shops, which are located on Whiskey Row. So if you want to taste some American whiskey. And Prescott is also home to Prescott National Forest. Moving into Phoenix and Central Arizona. So Phoenix is the capital of Arizona, and it is the greater Phoenix region is the 5th largest city in the US. So if you have clients that are more after that city vibe, this is going to be one of the places definitely to hit. It has over 200 golf courses, so if you're liking wellness and getting out for that. It's also got the highest concentration of luxury 4 to 5-star resorts in North America. So if you're looking out for that wellness aspect, Phoenix and Scottsdale, which is a city in part of that greater Phoenix area, is one of the areas that has that highest concentration, even within Phoenix, of those luxury resorts. And both Phoenix and Scottsdale are full of world-class museums, art galleries, and dealers. Then you head on down into Mesa, which is all of this is really located in the Sonoran Desert. So there's lots of outdoor activities here, hiking, lake cruises, river kayaking. The city of Tempe has also got this going on. And then there's some other areas that if you travel down south through, you will find yourself in southern Arizona, where the heart of the region here is Tucson. So again, this is the largest city in southern Arizona. It is a UNESCO City of Gastronomy. So if you're after delicious foodie experiences, especially that like Southwestern kind of Mexican-inspired cuisine and Native American-inspired cuisine using a lot of indigenous ingredients, and that kind of blend of that traditional style into a modern fusion, this is the city for you. Our third national park, following on from Grand Canyon and the Petrified Forest, is the Saguaro National Park, which is home to those towering cactuses that are one of the icons of Arizona, or cacti, I should say. And these can grow to be up to 12 meters tall. The city of Tubac is this beautiful, thriving little art colony. Bisbee is a historic mining town. And Tombstone, which has such a evocative name, is that classic frontier town where Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday once stalked the boardwalks and saloons. And if you visit Tombstone, they do actually do daily reenactments of the gunfight at the OK Corral. So great for kids or kids at heart. Down in this southern region, you'll also find the Sonoita Elgin Wine Trail and the Wilcox region, which are the two other wine regions, the two other AVAs within Arizona. And then wrapping up our tour of the state, the quote unquote West Coast of Arizona is as described along the west. And the reason we call it the West Coast is it does actually follow the curve of the Colorado River. So this is where you'll also find a lot of water sports in the state. So I'm kind of just going to take you through north to south here. Kingman is only about an hour and 45 minutes from Las Vegas. So a great stop in that drive along either from Las Vegas, or if you're coming along or on Route 66 from California, the powerhouse Route 66 Museum is located in Kingman. Lake Havasu City is, as per the description, a city on the shores of Lake Havasu, known for its water sports. You can rent houseboats here. There's a hot air balloon festival, which is quite cool. It takes place every January. And a fun little fact about Lake Havasu, it's actually the home of London Bridge. Yes, that London Bridge. It was relocated in the 1960s as it had become too narrow for the traffic in that date. So it was put up for sale, purchased by a businessman based in Arizona, and he brought it over to Lake Havasu. So if you've got people who are thinking, oh, I really kind of wanted to see some English sites, but I only have time to go to the US, send them to Lake Havasu. And the last town I want to point out here is Yuma, which you may have heard of the film 3:10 to Yuma. I won't touch on the film too much, but just that's where the name may have rung a bell. And Yuma, fun fact, is the lettuce growing capital of the world. You may not have known that there was a lettuce growing capital of the world, but now you do. And its other claim to fame, which feels slightly at odd and somehow still works together, is that the Yuma Territorial Prison is here, and it is said to be the most haunted destination in the entire country. So if you want to have a look at how to incorporate Arizona into an overall road trip or general trip through the US and through the Southwest, we do have some sample itineraries on our website, the Linked Tourism Trade website. And in particular, I want to call out the multi-state itineraries, because as much as I would love for your clients to come to Arizona and spend all their time in Arizona, after Seattle, of course, I know that realistically they're going to want to hit multiple states, and we think that it's a great pairing with Colorado in particular. So we do have some multi-state itineraries on our trade page as well. Make sure you check those out. So thank you so much. That is it from me on the Arizona front. Again, my name is Sally. My details are here. We'll be sending out some follow-up information as well. I did see that there's a couple of questions in the chat or in the Q&A section. Thank you so much for those. We will come to those in a little bit, but first I want to hand over to Belle from United. And we're going to kick off with a great video highlighting United, and then she's going to share some quick facts with you.
Let's go.
Turn it up.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh gosh, what a great session. Thank you so much, Sally and Amanda. I have learned actually so much myself today, which has been awesome. So what a great little recap. And I hope you guys are all as excited as we are, because this is going to be the FMIL of the year. It's taken Michael and I 12 months in the making to get this all off the ground, and it is going to be absolutely epic. So I'm on today just for a few fun facts, but I'll be back next week for a UA update. So please make sure you tune in for that. This week we had our 1008th aircraft enter the United fleet, which is like, it gives me goosebumps saying it, because we are now officially the largest airline in the world, which is amazing. Another little fun fact I've got for you guys today is our Polaris business class and premium plus product is consistent across our entire fleet. So you don't have to think about, are we on the 777 or the A330, or are we on the 787? It's the same business class product, same premium plus product across all of it. So you can take that out. Another fun fact for you before we let you guys go today, 173.6 million passengers is what we took on United in 2024. So we are growing. Our connectivity is being far more leisure friendly as well. We've got some amazing new routes that are coming into the mix, but I will leave it there, and more to come next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Belinda. That is some really exciting updates from United.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe that you have 1008 aircraft.
That is unreal. So wrapping us up, we just wanted to highlight again that obviously by attending this webinar, you are getting an extra spot in the draw to win a spot on the FMIL. If you haven't already entered the sales incentive aspect of it, make sure that you check out our site. You can either scan the QR code now, or we've been sending out updates with links to the booking page as well. And if you want to get even more entries into the draw, make sure that you join us next week for webinar 2 and the week after for webinar 3. If you haven't registered yet for next week, you can scan the code on the screen now, or again, we'll be sending out an update with a link to register.
In the Q&A, I did answer one question. We just had a little question about Seattle, the minimum stay, and if you could only do one thing, what would it be? Now, I always say 3 days in Seattle, but if your clients have longer, really 4 to 5, because it's nice to get them out to Mount Rainier, getting all the way to the city, and then seeing like that little like mountain that is a 2-hour drive away, but you can see it from pretty much all over the state. And it's so close. But if you can get a day trip out to see that, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, just a couple of days longer, and I couldn't narrow it down to one thing. I'm like, do a Pike Place Market food tour, go to the Museum of Pop Culture, do the underground tour. Everything's fun. So yeah, I can't choose one, but there's just lots to do. But I'd say Pike Place Market maybe is the most predominant little city thing in Seattle. But the second question was, is there a way to check if bookings logged have been verified? And do you know the answer to that, Sally? I think that might be an answer we need to get back to you on, because we
Yeah, I
might
think we'll need to check with our.
It might be Michael, our director. He's the man in the know with all of that information. So we'll get back to you, Braden.
All right. Awesome.
That is it for today. So register for next week if you haven't already, and you'll hear, all about Anaheim, Brand USA, and a bit more about United.
Yes,
Stay safe, everybody, if you're in Queensland, or even if you're down in New South Wales. I've heard the surf is massive down there too. Cyclone Alfred is delivering some crazy weather for everyone in Australia at the moment, I think, or on the East Coast anyway. But yeah, take care. See you.
Thank you, everyone.